have a special guest today joining me on Primetime Local News. Shaela Miller is here. Shaela is going to be performing in Lloydminster coming up November 7th at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. Shaela, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Shaela, you have been busy lately. I've been trying to line up this interview and you were here and there and all over the place touring and performing. So we're excited you're going to take some time to be in Lloydminster. And for those who don't know about you or your music, tell me a little bit about what they can expect for the show here in Lloydminster.
Um, yeah, we do kind of like a hybrid of multiple genres. For a long time, I was basically mostly writing like classic country style inspired country music, old country, um, very 60s, 70s inspired stuff. And but always kind of with like a little bit of a dark flair to it and honest, wear your heart on your sleeve kind of lyrics. And growing up, I didn't always listen to country music, and I wanted to kind of expand on all my different loves of music and do more of like a synth new wave kind of hybrid with country album. So at the shows, what we've been doing is just like a combination of all the styles because we had released a few albums already of the country stuff that people love. So we kind of are, melding and molding the set list together so that everyone can hear some of the old, some of the new. And at first, when I started to embark on this new journey, I was actually pretty nervous of how the sets would flow, if it would actually work together. But I think ultimately, at the end of the day, what works is that it's still me, my voice, and my songwriting. So even with, even like the more synthy stuff, we still have a pedal steel player. My voice is still me. So I think it's, I don't know, it kind of works. So really, I think that most people, if you haven't heard me before, and say you don't like country music as a rule or something like that, most of my fans say, I don't really like country music, but I love your music. So I think with the new addition of the synth and the stylings I'm writing in, it kind of expands the audience in a way that I'd say, not to sound funny about it, but I think that as a huge music lover myself of all kinds of music, there's kind of something for everybody. So that's kind of nice.
All right, and you released an album back in March after the Masquerade, and I know that you said you're working on some new stuff too. But just tell me about that album itself. Was it different? And because you talked a little bit about how you've gotten away and you've added a little bit more of the synth and stuff. So is that more in this album, or does it have some of the traditional stuff too?
That is, yeah, that's the album that we decided to do this whole open new chapter thing. And it still does have some of the traditional flavors of how I write and my voice and such, like I was saying. But it is for sure it's a departure, but it's still like a sister, not like a long distance cousin that you just found out about. It's they work together, the catalog is just like expanded in a beautiful way. So yeah, After the Masquerade is what we've been promoting all year, and that is a lot of what we'll be playing at the theater, but we'll also be playing songs off Big Hair Small City and Bad Ideas, my other records.
Now you are working on some new music too. I find that to be with artists, even though you put out an album, you're still working on new stuff. So will we hear any of that as well, or is that stuff that you're still in the initial stages?
It's still really in the initial stages, and um haven't really announced it, but I will say that we're working on, I don't know, should I say it? Well, we're working on some remixes.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and it's going to be kind of like a chapter 2 of After the Masquerade, but it will also have some new songs on it, and no, those are not going to be played, they're not ready yet. So yeah,
All
but
right.
that's coming up, and we're working hard on it.
Well, Shayla, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and we're so excited to see you here in November. If people are looking to check out your music ahead of time and learn a bit more about you, where can they find that?
They can find it anywhere online that you stream music, anywhere. There's lots of really cool music videos on YouTube as well. So Spotify, Apple Music, and just to check in on anything that we have going on, you can just go to my website at shailamiller.com.
All right. Well, thanks so much for chatting with us today. And
Thank
again,
you.
Shaela Miller, November 7th at the Vic Juba Community Theatre in Lloydminster. Shaela, we are looking forward to the big show that night.